Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are reading A Course in Miracles workbook for students. Part 2 of the workbook. We're on section 12, What is the Ego? Please read that section in its entirety today or listen to my YouTube video. And this is lesson 322. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. The ego makes illusions. Truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away. Truth never makes attack, it merely is, and by its presence is the mind recalled from fantasies, awaking to the real. Forgiveness bids this present enter in and take its rightful place within the mind. Without forgiveness is the mind in chains, believing in its own futility. Yet with forgiveness does the light shine through the dream of darkness, offering it hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is its inheritance. We would not bind the world again today. Fear holds it prisoner, and yet your love has given us the means to set it free. Father, we would release it now, for as we offer freedom, it is given us, and we would not remain as prisoners while you hold out our freedom unto us. And now I will pull open the commentary. This is a practice suggestion by Robert Perry. Choose a situation in which you are experiencing fear, then say, my fears about such and such bind such and such, whoever they bind. My forgiveness of such and such will set the people that are bind or involved free, and will set me free too. Commentary by Alan Watson. Fear and unforgiveness are very closely related. Our fear in the Course's understanding is rooted in our guilt. Our primal fear is of punishment for what we believe we have done wrong. Our belief in our sin produces guilt, and that guilt produces fear. The fear binds us. It is a restrictive emotion. Forgiveness, which undoes guilt, thus sets us free. The belief in sin is the ego's foundational illusion. All that the ego makes is illusion and not reality. Truth, by its mere presence, evaporates the illusions of the ego. If there is an illusion of wall in front of us, knowing the truth, in this case that there is no wall, enables us to walk through the wall. There is no need to attack the wall to tear it down. We just shine it away with truth. The truth about us is that we are guiltless. Forgiveness does not attack sin and guilt. It does not have to. It just shines them away. Forgiveness invites truth to enter the mind and take its rightful place within the mind. Forgiveness is the mind in chains, believing in its own futility. When I am entrenched in my own guilt and my mind seems impotent, unable to accomplish anything at all. When I am entrenched in my own guilt, my mind seems impotent, unable to accomplish anything at all. I cannot believe in my own power because I am believing in my own weakness. The power of God given to me in creation seems non-existent. I seem to be frail, blown about by circumstances beyond my control. But when I am forgiven, I once again realize the power of my own mind. By owning my guilt and taking responsibility for it, realizing that I made the illusion of guilt and sin, I reawaken to the inherent power of my mind to choose. And I realize that I can choose again and choose differently if I wish. When I exercise forgiveness, the realization of my mind's freedom and power comes even more quickly. When I realize that the picture of sin I am seeing in my brother is of my own making, and that I can choose to see him differently, that this is entirely within my power and not at all dependent on anything outside of me, I am reclaiming my inheritance as God's Son. By my forgiveness, I release the world from guilt. I have the power to forgive sins. I have the power to free the world from its chains. And that power is the power of forgiveness. Now I will lead us into meditation. If you'd like to close your eyes, if able to. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. We would not bind the world again today. Fear holds it prisoner, and yet your love has given us the means to set it free. Father, we would release it now, for as we offer freedom, it is given us, and we would not remain as prisoners while you hold out our freedom unto us. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. Thank you so much for joining in the meditation of this lesson 332. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. Now we will read Alan Watson's commentary on What is the Ego, paragraph 1, sentence 3. The ego is the proof that strength is weak and love is fearful, life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true. To find its illusory independence, the ego simply negates God and everything about God. The strength of innocence, gentleness, and love is seen as weak and is shunned. Attack is seen instead as strong. Standing on your own feet and being independent is seen as maturity and strength, and union with others and dependence on God is seen as weakness. The ultimate image of a mighty ego is a lone individual screaming defiance at the entire universe. The ego cannot see nor understand that this lone, limited, and separated self is the very symbol of weakness. In speaking of this choice we have made to become egos, a choice we can realize only in dreams, never in reality, the Course says, "Here does the Son of God ask not too much, but far too little. He would sacrifice his own identity with everything to find a little treasure of his own." That's from chapter 6, section 7. To learn to listen to the voice for God instead of the ego means far more than just listening to the little angel on our right shoulder instead of the devil on our left. That concept of things leaves the me who listens unchanged, still the same identity, a separated self. To listen to God instead of the ego means letting go entirely of that little treasure of my own, which is my entire conception of what I am as something apart from God, and instead affirming my identity with everything. I was mistaken when I thought I lived apart from God, a separate entity that moved in isolation, unattached and housed within a body. Now I know my life is God's. I have no other home, and I do not exist apart from Him. He has no thoughts that are not a part of me, and I have none but those which are of Him. That's from the workbook, part 2. 223. Thank you so much for joining with me for this lesson today, 332. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. I love you. Thank you.